This doesn't have to end in a fight, Tony.
You just started a war.
Hail Hydra, first of all.
Yeah,
They're everywhere.
love it.
Yeah, they are.
Outside in the hall. And
Are they?
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the two of you, who wears the Iron Man pajamas and who wears the Captain America
Cap
pajamas?
We
pajamas.
both have a full set of Avenger pajamas, so.
Yeah, we rotate nightly. I actually wear Spider-Man pajamas. So.
Or with the mask and everything?
He was my favorite character. growing
It's the
up,
full
so,
look.
Yes.
Now, I read, Anthony, somewhere that you described one of the main fight scenes like a fight at a wedding. And as an Irish person,
Yeah.
that's one of my favourite parts of a wedding. 'Cause you've got like the ceremony, then the
yeah.
fight, and then the dancing.
Yeah.
Was that like one of your notes to the cast, to get into the mindset
Well,
of the
that's
film
I
as
think
well?
that's where the Italians and the Irish have very similar experiences. Yeah, we are very familiar with wedding fights ourselves. So, yeah, we would. I mean, from the get-go, that's how we would pitch the movie because we knew it was risky what we wanted to do with the characters in this movie to divide them to this degree and to put them at odds with one another. So our sort of sell on the virtue of going there is this: look, this is what happens to families. They fight, and sometimes they fight in ways where you don't know if they're ever going to repair the fight. So that was a big part of our intention with the film.
Now, you guys have obviously looked ahead into the future in terms of Marvel, but how does it feel to kind of be living your life back? Because this was quite a while ago for you guys, and everyone is playing catch up. What's that like to live your years sort of ahead of everybody else?
It's
You
like
mean in
working,
terms of-
yeah, it's like working for the CIA. Everything's very clandestine at Marvel. You can't. Yeah, you're right. You can't share any secrets. We know what the storytelling is for 2 years, and it doesn't get released to the audience until we're done with it and moving on to the next project. But it's good because we love how passionate Marvel fans are, and they deserve to be because they've invested 10 years of their lives into this storytelling. So it is by far and away the most compelling part of the process is getting the movie out there.
But ironically, that's really the process you go through on any movie, whether it's a Marvel movie or not. As filmmakers, you're not out talking about what the movie is. You're making the movie, and it's all about the presentation of the movie on the screen. But the only difference is when you're making a Marvel movie, everybody wants all the details. So yeah.
You're obviously very excited about the Infinity War films as well, I imagine. And then that's it. It's just like, yes.
That's all you get.
Yeah. But those are the official titles for the films as well.
Yeah, Avengers Infinity War, yeah.
Yeah.
Part 1 and Part 2. Well,
Yeah.
we can't wait to see those. In terms of directors, whenever you're involved in these films and how all the films connect with each other, who decides on things like the mid-credit sequence, the post-credit sequence? Is it a discussion with a big group of people, or is it like just a small group?
It's
who
a
know
small
about-
group of
Yeah.
people, and it's a very collaborative process. We try to determine whether we need some more room for storytelling in that post-credit sequence, and if we don't, then what other stories are we trying to tell? What other characters are we trying to pull into the mosaic? So it's it's an evolving process because sometimes we don't even know until 3 months before we release the movie what that story should be, and then we'll go out and pick it up.
In terms of a shared universe, because obviously the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a wonderful thing, but there were a couple of little things in the film I was hoping you could comment on. Obviously, your community background,
Yeah,
and we see Jim Rash in there.
That's right.
Dean
Yeah.
Pelton. So I like to think he's,
Yeah.
he got a new job at
He did. He's
MIT.
been
basically.
elevated. He's failed dramatically upward.
It was a
Where he's now the
it was
dean
a
of
very
MIT.
risky choice on the part of MIT to hire him, but I commend them for that.
He's going to destroy that place.
Yes, he is.
And as well as that, Tom Holland, who's super as Spider-Man in the film, one of the highlights as well, references some film called Empire Strikes Back as well.
right, yeah.
But in terms of referencing something like Star Wars, so that obviously exists within the world of these characters. Are they looking forward to Episode 8 and
I'm
Rogue
sure
One,
they
things
are.
like that?
because I'm sure they're big Ryan Johnson fans. So.
Do you remember Tom Holland's first, the first time you met him in terms of
Absolutely.
Very well.
And
yeah.
what was it that stood out about him?
We were doing. We were working with all the actors who were up for the part. Anthony and I were down in Atlanta, and they had flown all the actors down to do a private session with us. The minute Tom Holland came in the room, we just looked at each other and said, "This is the kid," and he just had the right combination of vulnerability and confidence. He was very empathetic, but also very cocksure and funny, and that's what I loved about the character when I was growing up. Was that combination of like a kid who's still dealing with girls and acne in high school, being burdened with this incredible power.
I mean, Tom also has a remarkable physical capacity as well. He's quite acrobatic, and I think that really helps his interpretation of the character as well.
Is the fact he backflipped into the room in the audition. That's what did it.
That did it.
And
Yeah,
where does
you're
this-
sold on the backflip.
Yeah. And where does this fit in terms of Homecoming then, Spider-Man? Would it be afterwards?
Chronological.
Chronological.
Yeah.
It's chronological,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Well, listen, congratulations again on the film. Hopefully chat to you for Infinity as well.
All right.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
Such a
Pleasure.
pleasure,
Thank
man.
Thank you, Anthony.
Nice questions.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
question.
Yeah.